The sponsor of tonight's episode, Red Pill Threads, dares to go where few others will.
Perfect for the proud libertarian or anti-statist. Their designs are loaded with deeper meaning and hard forbidden truths. They hate the government more than you.
Their shirts are an act of defiance, rebellion against liberal agenda, corrupt government, psychopathic oppressors, and the status quo. We're fighting back.
Their shirts are the weapons on the front line of this war. When you wear them, you're gearing up for combat, and you boldly shout, "We will not lose this war without a fight."
And we won't lose. We'll keep fighting until we win.
Are you ready to fight?
The main reason we hooked up with Red Pill Threads is they put their money where their mouth is by donating 20% of their proceeds to rotating charities, most specifically aimed at helping child and human trafficking.
So visit their website at www.redpillthreads.com and join us in the fight.
Welcome, fellow lushes. Come on in, pull up a bar stool, and enjoy some cocktails with Dimples and the Beard.
Welcome back to another episode of Cocktails with Dimples and the Beard. And if you're wondering why we're wearing matching Dolly Parton shirts, it's because Dolly's on the podcast.
And Dolly's on the podcast.
Why you ruin every intro with the word gay?
It's giving the people what they want.
Every fucking time now, lately, every time we got to start the intro over because you decide to call somebody gay.
I don't know if that's true.
It is. I just had to cut out a part where you called Anthrax gay. Or no, not Pantera gay. Jesus. All right. Welcome back to another episode of Cocktails with Dimples and the Beard. Why are we wearing matching Dolly shirts? It's not because we're homosexual. It's because Dolly Parton is not on the podcast. But Dolly is. She sings them sweet country songs.
She's a raspy, smoky voice singer that's gonna blow you away. Hey,
What?
before we get any further, let's just turn that tabby on.
Open the tavern. Here we go. We're back.
We're back. This is Dolly night at the old tavern. So every karaoke song you sing from here on out has to be a Dolly song.
Karaoke off.
Just
Karaoke off.
until we get the karaoke going. Give yourself a like.
Themselves?
And then like us.
You can't like somebody else if you
Sure.
don't like yourself.
Exactly. Share, go check us out on YouTube, even subscribe and join.
Join, brand new.
It's a new feature. Join us, look for it. It's a mere $2 a month, but the extra bonus you get is amazing.
Can't tell you what it is yet, but we're figuring that part out.
It's coming soon. We're just trying to get it out there. We're hoping by the time this episode comes out, it'll be out going.
You'd be getting episodes a little early, and you would be recognized and all that good stuff. So it's
As a number one fan.
the number one fan. Yeah, that's true. If you're the first member, you're obviously the number one fan. So
It's now a race to see who is the number one fan.
and I will tell you what, whoever that first member is,
Yeah,
whoever joins first can have one of them sweet Hooch It Up shirts for free.
we're gonna hooch you. Yeah, hooch it up.
Hooch It Up.
We turn this on
Oh, I forgot. YouTube's in the house.
because YouTube is where you're gonna join. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right, so I'm excited for this country singer, and her career's just going. Let's chit chat with this beautiful lady and see what's going on with her. You never beautiful lady waited.
Thanks. I can't, it's the OCD ADD thing. You gotta have lines gotta be right before we can go. So what did you say? You said it. So
Without
without
repeat it.
yeah.
Well, I know you're gay. You're making me repeat the line.
So,
Nah, hey, we don't want to keep a pretty lady waiting.
so without further ado, country music sensation Delete. Hello.
Hi,
How are you this evening?
pretty awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah,
Nice to meet you.
you as well. This is very exciting for us as big fans of Kill Tony. We came to know you, Delete, country music sensation. Your son was on and your name came up and the whole Kill Tony world started following you.
And loving you.
Yeah, and loving you. So when did the country music start?
Oh my gosh. I have this extended family. My dad was the youngest of 10 kids.
Okay.
And if you could think of Hee Haw, that whole situation, if anybody remembers Hee
Oh, yeah.
Haw,
Yeah.
well, that was, yeah, that is what family get-togethers were. My dad played the guitar, my uncles played other instruments. We would get together, and they always wanted to lead a sing, you know?
Yeah.
And so that was really young. And then my brother and I were like Donnie and Marie traveling Texas, singing at Opry houses, and that's how I grew up. And
So, was your brother a little bit rock and roll?
I mean, yeah. Yeah, I think so. Between the two of us, I sang Tanya Tucker, When I Die, and he sang Wish I what was that? I think it's a Merle Haggard song, Wish I Were Down on Some Blue Bayou,
Okay.
Bamboo Cane. The Way I Am. That's what that song. So those were our two, songs, but I was lead. Okay, there we go. All right, technology. We're set.
Sounds so much better. Thank you for being patient.
Oh, good. Good. No problem.
I say this since you fully acknowledge you're 54 years old and started your music career. We're too old for
I'm
this.
not. I'm not.
You're not what?
Newsflash. I'm not 54.
40.
So you are 44.
55. When was your birthday?
July 20th.
Oh,
I was born the day the astronauts landed on the moon.
Ah, okay.
I know you're like, what does that mean?
Well, that means
you should remember you were.
I watched it, yeah. But I mean, you watched it, you just don't remember it.
I mean, I kind of preoccupied my mother. So
Yeah,
she didn't get
assuming
to see
it was on the TVs in the hospital.
Yeah, exactly.
Did they?
So no, I'm 55.
Okay. Well, you look incredible.
Thank you. That's
Absolutely.
very nice. Thank you.
So we did touch on your little bit of your history. So let's continue to talk about that. And
Yeah.
I love the Hee Haw reference because we used to watch it all the time.
Yeah. What was it? Saturday
Sunday
nights
night.
at 6:00 or Sunday nights?
Oh,
It was Saturday at 6,
Yeah.
but Solid Gold was was on either before or after, and I was always watching both of those. It was the first time I saw Prince was on Solid Gold.
yeah.
And Prince was my first concert.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Purple Rain.
How old were you then?
It's awesome.
That doesn't matter.
I think I was in 8th grade or something. My
Okay.
brother took me. Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
yeah, it changed my life seeing Prince.
Yeah.
were you addicted
Huge
to live
influence.
music after that?
Yeah, but I mean, I grew up surrounded by it, So, I mean, there was no way my dad's was in law enforcement. He wasn't taking me to a honky tonk, but the family get-togethers and then the Opry houses. Those were family events that it was live music always.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Okay.
What a great way to grow up.
You ever get the?
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask a dumb question because I'm dumb. Is Mickey's still around?
Mickey's? I don't think so. In Dallas? That was like in Dallas. Was that Mickey Gillies' place?
Yeah, Mickey Gillies. The big
It was
like
Gillies.
block.
It was called Gillies, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't even know. I mean, I grew up in East Texas.
Okay.
So, and I mean, Billy Bob's is still here, but I don't know if Gillies, somebody from Texas is going to have to tell us.
Okay.
Somebody in the comments.
All right. Well, good.
Somebody will.
I always wanted to go there. Not that I grew up country, but I always wanted to go to Gillies. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was before I was either old enough or maybe because I got married right out of college and didn't go to any places like that,
Yeah. Yeah. That's what all you Southern belles did, right? The day you got out of school, you get married. A year later, you got your first kid.
Well, that's just it. I basically followed the path that was supposed to bring happiness and, the dream, right? You go to college, you get married, you get the house, you get the dog, or excuse me, you go to college, you get married, you get the dog, you get the house, and then the kids. And I did all that and got the divorce also, and which then kind of wasn't part of the dream. And then it was like, well, okay, now what, you know?
Yeah.
So I was raising kids and focused on doing the best I could at that. And then one day where they were gone, and it was like, you know what? I've done this because it's what everybody else expected of me. I maybe need to think about what makes me happy.
Absolutely.
And that's what this whole thing kind of is all about.
So you thought about it, and so many people probably have that same thought as you just did, and then get back into the routine and don't make that jump. So what was there something that just gave you a push?
That final push?
You know, the best way for me to describe it was I felt like I was a supporting actress in my own life. I didn't even have the lead role. And I felt like it was kind of vanilla, and I didn't know why. And I will be honest, I think there were so many layers of me trying to do what everyone else to make everyone else happy in my life, that I had to dive within myself and just start asking questions. I didn't even remember. I hadn't sang since I was in college.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so it wasn't even like I didn't know what would make me happy, if I'm being honest.
Sure.
I was, being a mom, which did make me happy. It was the greatest privilege of my life. And thank goodness for my children. But really making Delee happy hadn't really been part of the equation.
Sure.
And so I had to remind myself and figure out who am I really and what makes me happy. And the more I did that, I fell in love with different parts of my life. I kind of went back and back and back. And a lot of my songs reflect different times in my life.
Yeah, sure.
And then what ended up happening is I didn't go after music. Music came and found me.
Okay.
Okay, well, explain that, because I was going to ask you what came first, writing songs or singing in a local band?
You know, this is what you get an alignment with who you genuinely, authentically are in this world, I think. And I think your purpose comes and finds you, honestly. I received a DM on Facebook, and it was a person that I sort of knew. And he said, hey, I have this cover band and we're looking for a lead singer. And I ran across a video of you singing karaoke from like 5 years ago. And he goes, would you want to do it? And I was at a place in my life, I was like, okay,
sure,
that sounds fun,
It does.
And I'm going to be honest with you. I went to the first rehearsal. That cover band was called Brazos Moon.
Okay.
And it was kind of classic rock meets country. I was the country, they were the classic rock. So we kind of met in the middle and kind of did both, which I really enjoyed. It challenged me in some ways. And then, I fell in love with a lot of really incredible music. But I went to that first 3-hour rehearsal, and I'm not even kidding. I got in the car and on my drive home just started bawling, because all of a sudden, I'm going to get teared up right now. All of a sudden, I remembered what fed me, what brought me immense joy. It brought me back to my childhood, to my dad, which I recently lost, and my family, and everything that mattered to me is wrapped up in some way in music, which I think a lot of us are that way. Our memories are tied, but a lot of my greatest memories were with me singing and me participating in those kinds of things. And I just, it emotionally just, it literally took me off guard how much it affected me.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think that's why people are loving you and relating to the songs, because you can feel all of that emotion come through the songs, and you can feel how autobiographical they are. And I was listening to them a little bit today and getting a little teary eyed, because they pull on you.
Well, and I'll be honest with you, in writing some of those songs, specifically Wonder Woman, I mean, I cried my way through writing that. And Chasing Dreams is another one. And when I perform it, there are many times I have to, kind of distance myself a little bit from it. When I was in the recording studio in Nashville for Wonder Woman, they said, okay, we're ready for the vocal, lay down the track. And I went in and I was too close to it. And I was like, I couldn't sing it. We had to wait till the next morning, and I had to pull away as if I was observing, being that observing that girl, that person. So yeah, they are my heart and soul, very personal to me.
Yeah.
When you were in the studio singing it, did you wear a Wonder Woman costume to help get you in the mood, or?
Do you need to believe that I did?
Yeah.
Is that something you want? I mean, I can play along, but
Just to pull away. Maybe I was a huge Wonder Woman fan of the TV show.
Whatever visual makes you happy.
You're starting to sound a lot like Red Band.
Yeah.
I do have Jacob Marshall is my son. He got a little bit of humor from me. I'm not funny, but
well, it's got some of it's got to come from mom. Yeah, and
right.
Speaking of your son, we're talking to him in a couple of weeks. So
he's I'm so proud of him. He is unbelievably talented and such a good person.
Yeah,
and he's real sarcastic, and I would love to live in his head sometimes with the way he views the world. So you'll enjoy it. I'm
curious, when you found out that it happened on Kill Tony, were you excited at first, or were you like, what the fuck did you just do?
Okay, I have to tell you what happened. Yes. I mean, everybody wants to know, and so y'all are going to get the first dibs on knowing. So I'm just at home with my hair on top of my head and in the t-shirt I slept in, doing a little work, and my phone rings, and it was Jacob. And I'm going, okay, Jacob normally will shoot a text. I don't get calls from him very often, but I get texts from him. So him calling, I'm like,
what's wrong?
Is he in jail or in the hospital? Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. If he can make the jokes about me, I can play along too.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, he goes, hey, I need to tell you something. And I'm like, okay, what are you going to tell me? And he goes, well, I was in Austin. I was on Kill Tony last night, and you might have been brought up.
Might have.
And my statement was, Jacob, what did you do? Because you never know. He has several jokes that he says about me. Everybody needs to know. Comedians have a little piece of truth and they embellish it greatly. Like there's one little piece and then they make it. So I was like, what did you do? And he goes, oh, it's fine, Mom, it's fine. It was during the interview and it was like maybe 12 minutes long and 8 minutes of it was about you. What? And he did not tell me what was said. He goes, oh, I brought up that you have a country album and that, they made fun of the fact that you didn't have that many followers. And that's really all it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. That was it. Yep.
That is all he told me. Okay. And so I went, it's okay. Jacob, did you end up doing well? He goes, I got a big book. I went, hey, if there was any part of that I helped with. So then after, I guess Joe Rogan had a thing and all of a sudden my phone's blowing up. It's just sitting on the table going zit, 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 zit. Wow. And I text him and I go, are you sure Kill Tony didn't come out yet? And he goes, no, Mom, it didn't come out yet. That's, how you talk to your parents. And no, Mom. And I went, well, why is my phone blowing up? Because it's blowing up. And he goes, I don't know. And somebody put a comment, get ready for the Rogan bump. Yeah. And shout out to that person. And I told him that and he goes, oh my goodness, did Rogan talk about you? And so that's how I found out about Rogan. And then I had to ask him, okay, after hearing Rogan, what happened? Like, so that's kind of how this all went down. And then I was pretty much prepped because I thought if Rogan got that fired up, there's more to this story. Yes. And and so I actually watched Kill Tony with my middle son and his wife.
Okay.
And I had tears strolling down my face. I was laughing so hard. I am so grateful to them, and they were so kind. I mean, I thought having a son that's a comedian, I can laugh. If you can't laugh at yourself, and I mean, comedy is comedy.
Yeah.
Right.
And you just got to take it for what it is. It's not personal. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Absolutely. As long as people laugh, that's what, they're not attacking you personally. They're just trying to make the room laugh.
And embellishing things like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did get a text from Jacob afterwards going, "You doing okay?"
Oh, that's a good son. I noticed he didn't call for that. He's I'll do this one from a distance.
No, I got the text. "You doing okay?" I went, "No, it's hilarious. Good job." I thought he did a great job.
Well, you were benefited by Sam Talent being on there and being the comedian on there, because he seems like he's such a good dude. And so to take it to, I didn't realize that the Rogan came out before the Kill Tony episode. I thought it was the other way around. So it's interesting.
No. So I had a hint, but I still didn't know what I was just like everyone else. Rogan talked about something that wasn't out yet.
So, so did you get like a 2 bumps? Rogan and then killed? Yeah, that's even better.
Yeah.
You know what? And I think that I have to give a shout out to all the Rogan fans and Kill Tony fans, because everyone is being so kind and nice and supportive. And I just honestly can't believe that this is all been happening.
Yeah.
It's like a dream come true. For real.
Well, it's even nicer to hear that you say that, that you don't have people on there making fun of you or people could be mean. Oh, you just ignore it?
No, I don't ignore anybody. I just take it like everybody's playing along with it all. We're all playing along. Nobody's being mean.
Yeah. Good. That's what I meant.
But they're playing along with the joke, and so I just think it's funny. But 99% are very supportive, very kind. And the big thing that's been nice to see over the last few weeks is, it feels as though they're supporting my music. It's becoming less about, some of the funny and like they're actually listening to the music, and that means a lot to me.
Well, that's what I said. Something that, I'm not going to lie. When I saw the thing happen, I was like, oh, this is going to be some sort of joke, right? And then you go and listen to the songs and you realize the songs are actually very good songs, and I think that's why it's lasting past the joke. Now it's legit. It's people that came from there, but they actually like the music. So,
Red Band sent me an invitation, and I was able to attend one of the Kill Tony shows, which was nice. And the people outside of the venue were so nice. I mean, they saw me get out of the car and they were coming up and hugging me. And it is maybe the best group of people that one could ever have in their corner. And so, to have that, insane to me. Nice. Just so appreciative.
It's great to hear. It's great.
Look, it led me to you guys.
Yeah. And that is the cherry on top.
The cherry on top with the Dolly shirts is really the cherry on top.
Well, again, we kind of touched on it when we were working around, but we just assumed you like Dolly because who doesn't? And if you don't, I don't know that I want to be your friend, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
No, we in my household, we both my daughters cherish her, and just that's on our bucket list. We're waiting for her to go on tour to go see her.
Absolutely. I've never seen her live.
Okay.
But I would love to see her. Yeah. She's definitely a bucket list. I mean, what an inspiration. I think, what is she, 76? She's wearing a Dallas Cowboy uniform, cheerleading uniform.
She killed it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So people are saying, oh, did Lee put out an album at 50 something? Look at Dolly. Look at Cher. There's so many examples of women that are just doing amazing things at ages you would never have dreamed of.
Absolutely.
And Cher, my daughter's, I saw Cher years ago. Great show. She just put it was just a phenomenal performance. Her vocals were amazing. And she's cheesy with all the costumes over the top. I don't know. There was like at least 8 costume changes, if not a dozen. And then recently, I'm trying to think, within 5 years ago, my daughters went with their mom. And again, same thing. So she was still killing it at that age.
Oh yeah, she looks amazing. I love her and Dolly have taken something that could have been considered gimmicky, and they have done amazing things. And really, their talent is what shines through. So, I mean, chalk it up to role models for me. I mean, I can let me look at the Kill Tony show, a joke, and then people like my music. I mean, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
So out of your singles, which was your first song that you wrote? Or haven't you released it yet?
I haven't released it.
Okay.
The first song that I wrote when I got back into writing, I wrote 78 songs in 2 months.
Jesus.
Let's just say I had a lot to pour out of me. And the first one was called Emergency.
Yeah.
And
I saw the little reel where you sang a little bit of it. So
that was the first one that when I got back to writing, I wrote. And then I want to say the second one was Kissing Frogs, I believe.
Okay.
And then Wonder Woman.
And when you wrote the song, were you wearing the cut? Never mind. We're gonna move on from. I do want to kind of ask when is, because I've been a huge Evel Knievel fan forever. So to see that you wrote a song, I'm like, wait, what? This is awesome. And
it's true. We had a company meeting last night, and he was talking about it last night. So
love.
I think based on the comments and what people are saying, it's definitely going to be on the next album.
Oh.
So Evel Knievel, it's almost like, bitterness table for one. I still have residual bitterness for not getting the Evel Knievel. You know what I mean? Just because I'm a girl didn't mean I wanted the baby doll. Right. And so, there's nothing like having 2 older brothers and they get all the cool stuff, So this is my way of, and honestly, when I got to thinking, first of all, how fun is it to just say Evel Knievel? It's just fun.
Rolls right off the tongue.
So it's almost like you planned that. Song. And I just, that song came to me. It literally, I wrote it last month. Okay. It's new. It's a new one that I just wrote. I've written 4 songs this month. I haven't been writing, but sometimes I just can't help it. Things just kind of come to me. So I'm about to go back into for a couple months with writing. But, I just got to thinking about it and how my life is a bit like feeling like I'm Evel Knievel. You know what I mean? Sure. A lot of chances, doing things other people probably wouldn't choose to do.
Yeah.
And I'm loving it, and so that's where that song came from.
And you're not breaking any bones, so it's even better.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, but might fall off a stage somewhere.
I'm curious. Did you just say you're going back to write in a couple of months? You have
I'm gonna write for 2 months.
You have 8 albums worth of songs already, right?
I know. I do, but there's this gut feeling that there's a few songs that have yet to be written that need to go on the next album.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, you got to write them when they're coming out, right? You can't wait.
Right.
If it's pouring out of you, it's pouring out of you.
So you mentioned now you got back to writing. So I'm assuming you wrote songs earlier in life. Have you gone back to any of those to revive them, or is that long gone?
Yeah, I need to find them in a trunk somewhere. I doubt they're very good. It was when I was in high school, and they were very Whitney Houston-ish type songs.
But how amazing would be to just read what you were writing about back in high school.
I thought they were incredible.
Yeah.
And I was singing about things I didn't have any clue about at all. Broken hearts and things like that, and hadn't even kissed anybody. So, but I need to find there. I know exactly I have a spiral that has several in, but I remember distinctly standing in the kitchen and forcing my parents to listen to me singing one song in particular. This is very Whitney Houston. I mean,
Do you remember any of the lyrics for that
I
song your parents
don't. I
listened to?
don't. No, I don't. I wish I did. I'm sorry. It's
I
too
love that
long ago.
we both have the same evil in us. I was thinking we let Jamaica sing it.
Yeah,
Just the verse.
And then what you do is that would be the clip you would promote. The worst song Delee ever wrote would be the one you promote.
We don't know that it was the worst song. Those could be gems.
You never know.
You never know. With a few tweaks here, a few tweaks there. Boom.
Modernize it. Yeah.
Okay.
You never know.
I mean, look, Taylor Swift was writing good songs at 15.
Was she?
That's what they say.
I'm
I don't
kidding.
Yeah.
don't mean-
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I see that.
So
My daughter is all about Taylor Swift, so she
Yeah,
can do no wrong. And how amazing her career.
I have a 9-year-old who's all about Taylor Swift, and I feel like I went from not knowing anything about her to knowing the whole catalog. And she writes great songs. It's like I'm like, oh shit, she actually writes great songs.
The big thing is the inspiration for other musicians that are now out because of her.
Yeah.
And not only that, my daughter had to buy the cardigan that she wore in one of her videos. Like, she's expanded this so she's made it something more than the music that's just captivated this entire young audience. And I just think she's incredible.
Absolutely.
Frankly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'll take all of your word for it. I just don't know. I just don't know. And I'm not saying any more than that.
But yeah, you don't need to know though. It's just like what she's built. Like you obviously know what she's built just by knowing her name. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
Sure.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Well, he watches the NFL, and that's probably how he knows.
Right. Well, not gonna lie, I'd rather watch the game than pander her every time. But but I'm the same way. When my daughters were young, we're different daughters. My daughters were young. I learned all of Hannah Montana, from cover to cover album, my High School Musical, all those back then. So I knew all those.
The Swifties, we don't want to get on the bad side of the Swifties. Just say you love them.
I love the Swifties.
Thank you.
Smart man there.
Not a fight you want to pick. That's for sure.
So before we get too far away from it, I did want to say, since you picked up your dreams of singing later in life, you can still buy yourself an Evel Knievel doll. They're out there.
I think I might have to.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to invest in that for sure. And apparently I need a Wonder Woman costume, but but I think I'm going to have to get myself an Evel Knievel doll. I never did get one.
Yeah. I'm just saying. And in my childhood, that was my favorite toy ever.
Do you have the motorcycle with the thing you pull off and it go? That's the one.
I would send that off on the upstairs porch. We would set up a ramp and it would go off the porch and see how far we could get into the street. And that thing busted up and it never stopped working. It was the greatest toy ever.
Yeah, my baby doll didn't do any of that.
Get yourself, they're out there. Just got to get yourself one.
Put a firecracker in the baby doll's butt. You might get the same thing.
Surprised one of my brothers didn't do that.
Right? Yeah, there you go.
So I got to know.
Okay, go ahead.
Who was the first country? Who was the first music you remember? You talk a lot about your dad and you listening to music a lot when you were young. Who's the first country musician you remember that really kind of grabbed hold of you?
Wow. I have to relate it to my dad. My dad was a bodyguard for George Jones. When he was a head detective, he was a bodyguard for George Jones and several other country music artists.
Wow.
George is a legend. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I would say the songs my dad would sing, George Jones, he would sing Elvis. Elvis was always on a record player. My parents had every album. We watched all the movies too. I was in love with Elvis and
who was
Merle Haggard nice. For sure.
Yeah.
So those were, but I listened to my parents weren't into this, they would have said no. But I love Janis Joplin immensely. Her
Yeah.
vocal and just how unusual she was. Linda Ronstadt, Pat Benatar.
Thank you.
I mean, yes. But honestly, Prince was one as I got older. When I was younger, Anne Murray and Tanya Tucker. These were some Martina McBride.
So
I mean, I could go on a Barbara Mandrell.
Oh, the Mandrell sisters. Yes.
So I actually had the pleasure of seeing Anne Margaret live.
Really?
And
Anne
she was
Anne Murray.
Anne Murray. What did I say?
Yeah.
You said Anne Margaret.
Margaret.
I've had a cocktail.
Anne Margaret,
Murray.
one of the most beautiful women ever. Yeah. Anne
Mur-
Murray.
Anne Murray, and
yes.
she was phenomenal.
That was one of the songs I would sing. You know, You Needed Me.
Yes.
It's one of the.
It's
such a sad song.
It
I'm
is,
like,
but she
I'm
was
like 8 years old singing that song.
Aww.
A tear. I mean,
Why is everybody crying, Mom?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I see that how did your dad go from, and I gotta know, what's a sharecropper?
A sharecropper, they basically would pick cotton and travel from city to city, wherever the fields were that the crops.
Okay.
And they had 10 children that from as soon as he could walk, he was out there helping the family.
Okay. So share was more. You didn't have your own crops. You went around doing crops.
It was how they earned a living as a family, and every member of the family worked as a small child on very poor. Yeah.
Okay. And then so did he follow a dream by becoming a law, officer, or how did that work? Just
what's interesting, he ended up in 9th grade quitting high school, and because they were going to put him on the free lunch program, and he was embarrassed. They were very, very poor. And he ended up joining the army. He might have lied about his age because, they didn't check a lot then. And he ended up in Germany and came back after serving and found my mom in the local church, got married, and became I have an uncle that was in law enforcement. I mean, it was kind of a thing that his brother, a lot of his brothers. And so, he was in Cleburne, Texas, was policeman of the year there, and then just expanded, on to detective and undercover police work.
Wow. Well, thank him for his service.
Yeah, well, he's no longer with us, but that's also part of this. I just wish he could have.
Yeah. But he's watching. He's watching you.
Yeah. Because I will tell you, my dad has about 30 journals of songs he wrote over the years. And there was never a time that my dad wasn't playing the guitar and singing in the house. It was almost like I'd walk in the door and listen to what song he was singing, and I'd know if he was in a good mood or bad mood, because if it was "Take This Job and Shit," I'd be like, okay, stay away from Dad tonight.
So do you have his notebook of songs, you said?
Yes, he left those to me. I haven't done anything, but there is one song that I would really like to do. It's "If There's a Place," and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And
that would be a great tribute.
Sad song. I will eventually do it. I don't know if it'll be on the next one or not, but even at 80, he was still performing once a week at a local restaurant.
That's awesome.
Good for him. Oh, that's well, thanks for sharing. That's a terrific story.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Anytime I can talk about him, I'm happy. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, just reading his songs must be an inspiration as well, Yeah,
and my mom at I want to say 7 was on Christian radio.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's when she was 7 years old?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
So there's music
I don't know
everywhere.
the occasion. I don't know what led up to it, but yeah. She's the harmony. How everybody has a part. She's the harmony. She sings harmony on everything, never the lead.
Okay.
My dad was the lead. I mean,
well,
so did they perform together at all?
They did. Really, my dad would, when we would do the Opry houses, my dad would sing and my uncle would sing and me and my brother would sing. My mom didn't, but as they got older, she was harmonizing with him as they
Okay.
would play at a festival or a restaurant or something like that.
Yeah.
So did you learn instruments or play instruments as a child and still to this day?
Yeah, well, I mean, I know this is cool. I played clarinet in school.
That
I did-
is that is
How
badass.
impressed? Are
great
you
school.
super impressed? Are you
Yeah.
impressed?
I
And
fellow.
I can play some basic piano. And I'm currently working on the guitar to really, my dad he left us, gosh, I want to say 80 guitars.
Jeez.
Yeah, he had about 50 amps, Marshall amps. He has an accordion. I mean, we're talking a tuba. He's got everything you can think of. And so one of the things that he worked with me on was just strumming, and the chords. But I would love to become proficient at the guitar, if anything, for him. But it actually really does help the songwriting.
Sure. Yeah. You
Oh yeah.
throw it behind you while you're writing, I suppose.
Well, his
Mhm.
collection must be just a bunch of classic guitars.
Yeah.
There's everything you can think of.
Wow.
Les Pauls. He's got some Elvis. I don't even know what they are. He's
Yeah.
got everything. In my band, my guitarist and my bass player went down for some reason to my mom still lives in the house we grew up in, and they started looking at those and they were like, "We've never seen anything like this. This is amazing."
I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine any, real guitar player or any, would just be in awe of all that. Just not seeing it myself, but just imagining what he had.
Yeah.
It was very impressive what he left us.
Oh, well, enjoy that. Wow.
How was your mom enjoying the country music career?
Oh my gosh. That's what, for a while, I thought the only ones that are like all of these streams I'm getting, it's just my mother. I just assume this is all my mother. And if you look and you see, she doesn't know how to do Instagram at all, but she's a big Facebooker. And you'll look and there'll be like 40 shares. It's all my mother sharing that many times one post on her page.
Oh, bless her heart.
She's adorable.
I hope
my mom is super adorable.
I hope my mom is listening and taking a few notes right now.
Right.
But I don't want to correct her because that looks good, right?
Right, yeah, absolutely.
So I'm like, keep on, mom. Keep on doing it. Yeah.
You. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So, is she harmonized with you ever live or in a recording?
No, just my mother loves Christian music, and we will sing together some just classic songs, and that's really it. I mean, her performing days, she's gone to the place where my dad sang, and she has performed solo, but I just don't think she gets the same feeling now that my dad's not there.
Yeah.
They were together. They were married 59 years. So,
Wow.
and it's only been a little over a year. So she'll get
That's
there.
hard. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's amazing. 59 years is an amazing time.
Absolutely.
I'm on my
Something
third
I'll
marriage.
never say.
Yeah, me neither. I was going to say I'm on my third marriage and I only have like 19 years combined, all three. So,
I was married 17 years and I'm thinking that's a win.
that's a long time now. Yeah.
That's a win.
You beat me. So, and I'll never hit 59. So,
No, I don't have a chance now.
I'll never do another 17, but that's all right. We'll
That's funny.
So
get there.
Is there plans to take this on the road? How far are you traveling with the music? And
that's what we're working right now. The EP album is being released on October 3rd.
okay.
And we have an opener for his name's Ramon Jackson. He's an R&B recorder artist. So that's going to be really interesting. I'm opening for him. We've just been friends for a very long time. So I kind of wanted the first one would be with people that, have connections with me in a sentimental way.
Yeah.
And so we're doing that on October 5th. And then we're currently coordinating a small flight for tours.
Nice.
To do a little tour, mini tour, if you will. So we're working on that right now.
Okay.
Like throughout Texas, or because Texas is big enough to have a tour itself, right?
I think we're going to start in Texas and then just see how that goes and move from there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people ask for other states, and I would love to do that, but start off there and then go. This is all still pretty new for me.
Right. Yeah.
And
learning the ropes.
Yeah, and a lot of coordination, right? I mean, it's not just, hey, okay, I'll go on the road. So yeah, it's that. Is there a big music scene where in your town?
Absolutely. In Dallas, the Dallas Fort Worth area.
Okay.
Okay, that's where you are.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm in the Dallas Fort Worth area in Texas, and and Austin is incredible.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the plan. We're currently working those things out, getting everyone's schedules and figuring it out.
Nice. I think the October 3rd day will work perfectly. I think this episode will come out right around that time. So that'll be perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we want to get your music out there. I mean, we've been listening to it for the last through the weekend to tonight. So I got to say right now, I want to say Better Than Bitters is my favorite song right now. I just love the funk of it. It's got a little funk to it for me that, obviously learning the lyrics as I go. But yeah, that's my favorite song right now.
It's always that feel, isn't it? When you're first starting to learn songs, it's got to have that feel. You got to dig into that first, and then you get into the lyrics. And if the lyrics hit you too, then you're like, oh, now I got a real, So.
Yeah, that and Cinderella, I really, really like. So I'm going back to those a lot.
Yeah. Better Than Bitter has a tremendous amount of energy. And, when I was with the producers, my goal was, okay, I want this song to be, if my voice wasn't on it, it would actually be rock.
Oh, okay.
My voice is the only thing that makes it country.
Sure,
you know what I mean? If you really listen to it, it's a strong rock. The influence on it when I was writing it, I wrote it and I was in the kitchen making breakfast, and all of a sudden I was hearing Jim Morrison in my head, The Doors, going, yeah. And I'm going, okay, Jim, you want some yeah-yeahs in this? So I added the yeah-yeahs, and then I wanted it to have this energy. And all of a sudden Fleetwood Mac Tuss came on, and the beginning of it says, tell me that you love me, or one part of, if y'all know that song, tell me that you love me. And that's the first line, the melody. Well, I used to be drowning in tears, yeah. So that, and then the morning we got everything ready, and I just wasn't getting the energy I wanted for the song. And I was getting ready to go in and finish Better Than Bitter with the producers. And I was like, what am I in the mood for? So I put on Lenny Kravitz and was listening to his. And when American Woman came on, which of course I'd listened to many times, but the beginning of that with the way those drums and really the guitar drilling and the energy of that song, I just went, this is the feel. So those are the influences for that song, none of which are really country. But when I start, I mean, my vocals are very country, and so kind of makes it country. But that's been things people have said. It's like, wait, this isn't country.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm like, well,
your explanation makes a lot of sense. The why it rose to the top for me, because that's my main thing, and everything you said, I'm getting it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and we didn't talk about this at all either, but honestly, that's of the songs that I've listened to, the 5 or 6 that are out so far, that's been my favorite as well. So
Better Than Bitter.
Yeah. So
it's the one the producer said was the most marketable song.
Sure.
So, but Kissing Frogs has been the one that everyone had, but that's probably due to Kill Tony playing it.
Talking about
on the show.
Yeah. Okay. So where'd that title come from for Kissing Frogs? One? Kissing Frogs, I'm sorry.
Um, that came very easily, this thing of, I've been single for quite a while, and
Oh.
they've all not been gems.
You are so kind. You are so kind.
And so, but
Uh,
this thing of, people are, why are you single? And it's honestly because I do believe in true love. I believe in finding that person that was always meant for you. And I refuse to give in on that.
Yeah.
And I would stay single for the rest of my life rather than give up on that hope, that thought that it could happen. And so that's kind of, it's like, no matter, I'm going through the murky water, I'm in the swamp,
yeah.
and sometimes they appear to be one thing and turn out to be another, but I still believe he's out there.
Well, he is.
And you don't want to
He is.
settle. You'd kick yourself if you settled, right?
I have a great life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So one day, that person will come in and accentuate the life I already have,
Yeah.
And I'll do the same for him.
One
But
of the-
until then, I'm going to live life.
Yeah.
And I ain't done yet.
One of the
Love
best
it.
one of the best lessons you get as you get older is that, yeah, it's better to, I mean, just be happy. It does, you don't need to force it. Just be happy. So
With yourself.
And honestly, it's no one else's job to make you happy.
Right.
right.
And that's the thing that I've reached a point that, I'm happy with my own life. I have a fulfilling life, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
It's
in
gonna
the
get
good
funner.
way,
It's not a word. It's not a word, but it's going to get funner.
It is. Do tell.
Well, I'm just with, the explosion, and once you get on tour, you're going to meet so many wonderful people, I think, and then your tour is going to grow, and you're going to meet more. So yeah, I think you're ready to experience a lot of fun.
I think that's what life's about. It's,
Amen.
connecting with different people and learning about each other, and I'll definitely have some more songs come out of it. That's for sure.
78 more.
That's incredible.
I think I'm getting close to about 100 at this point. A little over 100.
That's incredible.
It is. So when you get the inspiration, do you write it down? Do you talk into a recorder in your phone, or what do you do with your process?
Depends what I'm doing, but a lot of times I'll be driving and the whole chorus comes to me. And so then I just get my audio up. And if you saw my audio, there's, I've had instances where the whole song kind of comes to me. And then I have times that it's just the chorus, and then like a week or two later, I'll be thinking about the chorus and verse one will come. Probably the part of the song that I always struggle the most with is the bridge.
Sure.
Evil Knievel is a good instance. The chorus came really easy. The verses really came easy, but then I started working on the bridge, and I wanted the bridge to be this feeling of the road, like the gravel in the road, and the smell of the exhaust and the dirt, breathing in the dirt, and like the heat coming down on you, and kind of the sweat on your brow, and and
tires
so,
on that gravel. Yeah, that makes sense.
So, and it being this gritty part of the song, and so because it's kind of an uplifting kind of song, and it's another energy song, so it's probably why y'all like it. But that part, I want it to feel gritty, and I want you to honestly close your eyes, and as you listen to the song, go, yeah, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
To be out there doing that and living that life.
That's cool.
I want it to describe, if I were Evil Knievel, what did he experience? That's what the bridge is about. So I do have it written. I have that written, but that took a while.
Okay. Well,
So, right.
I'm excited to hear the rest of it. That's for
Absolutely.
sure. And many more of your songs. I mean, 78. Yeah, I'll be listening to you for a long time.
I'm counting on it. Thank you. And I wrote some songs I've written that when I hear it, it's absolutely not my voice. It's like I have one song that I hear Chris Stapleton singing it.
Okay.
And so I write songs that aren't always for me to sing,
Sure. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you done that? Have you written songs for others at this point?
I haven't even, I'll be honest, I haven't even tried. I've been so busy with
Yeah,
my,
doing your own thing. Yeah.
yeah, but I can foresee that
Sure.
being something that, because there's some songs I just don't feel, Emergency is one. I honestly hear Sammy Hagar singing that.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm gonna have to re-listen to that and that little snippet you put out and see. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's who I think would really do that well.
Yeah.
But I mean, I might put it on the album. Right now, I'm leaning towards no.
Okay.
I think it needs to be like a Sammy Hagar voice.
Okay. So that could prevent you from even recording it because you think someone else should be singing it.
Well, I don't know if this makes sense, but when I write these songs and I then want to record them, it becomes less about me and it's more about doing a good service on art, making sure the art is portrayed in the correct way.
Sure.
And so there are songs that I know that's just not going to serve the song like it needs.
Right.
And so that's why I'm not saying I won't, because I like Emergency. It's a totally different type of song.
Yeah.
It's about that passion when you see somebody and you're like, oh, hey. And so it's totally different than anything else. I mean, I have some other songs sort of like that, but it would be a different type of song for me to sing. But right now, I think there's some other ones that are in front of it for the next one.
Yeah, and your explanation right there, totally. I just saw Sammy myself by just going, like, wow, baby, I got an emergency. I could just. So
yeah,
I haven't heard the song, but yeah, so I get it.
He would make that a hit. Of course, he'd make anything a hit, but
yeah,
it's not difficult for him.
We had his daughter on the podcast.
You did?
We did,
well,
yeah.
Send her Emergency.
Yeah.
Just say, hey, give this to Daddy.
We thought maybe we could leverage that into Sammy, but they
Sammy a little busy for us.
Yeah.
He had an emergency elsewhere.
Yeah. Well, he's on tour and he has all the liquor companies, and then he's got Cabo Wabo and a couple places, I think.
Yeah. But he's another one, we were talking with, he's 70 something too, and he's still killing it touring and
coolest guy.
I don't think there's any such thing as too late.
Absolutely not.
100%. Yeah.
Not today.
I mean, we used to make fun of people like that. Hey, when they get old, what are they going to be on, walkers on stage? But yet now we're celebrating. I love it. I love seeing them. I just went and saw Roger Daltrey, and he knocked it out of the park. I mean, he was amazing. Yeah. I would see him until if he was in a walker,
Exactly. I just think that there's so many role models out there that are still Steven Tyler, and they're still doing it, still killing it in lots of industries, so, I just, little fun thing. I did a couple of parts on Landman that's coming out. Taylor Sheridan's Landman. And
I haven't heard of that.
It's coming out in a few, just little bit things, nothing to be impressed about. But Billy Bob Thornton was, who Taylor Sheridan is, right?
Yeah, he's from
Yellowstone.
The guy who created Yellowstone, yeah.
So his new one is Landman. I'm not promoting, I'm not, I'm just saying, but Billy Bob Thornton is in that. It's such a nice guy, and what an inspiration, and looks great. And it's like, those examples are everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know why people were so shocked that I did what I was doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I get why my kid was, I understand why he's like, Mom.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Right.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
Speaking of your kid, and before we let you go, since we're going to be talking to him in a week or so, you got to give us a little dirt we can bust his balls on. Give us a little something that we can like. Did his high school sweetheart crush his heart and he cried for weeks? Or
did he poop his pants when he was like in grade? I don't know.
Gosh, y'all are putting me on the spot.
Yeah. It's a great question, though.
It is. Well, I'll tell you this. The moment I realized how Jacob told me that he wanted to go into comedy was in his 4th year of college at Texas Christian University, which is a private school and very expensive. And he wanted to be, he went 4 years to be a college basketball coach. So he was like the manager, the student coach of the basketball team, right? So, and that was like 80 hours a week plus school. So he couldn't work either. So very expensive, if I haven't said that. And he's in his 4th year and said, Mom, I've decided I don't want to be a basketball coach anymore. I went, oh yeah, what do you want to be? And he goes, I think I want to be a comedian. I said, this is the funniest thing you may have ever said. I know that you're joking, right? Like, you didn't even need to graduate high school for that. I mean,
is this April 1st? What's going on here?
Exactly. I'm like, you're not funny at all. Like, just so you know.
Oh, okay. Wait. So he wasn't cracking you up like his whole life? Or just sarcastic? You mentioned sarcastic.
Yeah, it's sarcastic, and he always gave everyone a hard time. You know what I mean? He was the one that'd call you out,
Yeah, for sure.
So we start by saying, your mom doesn't think you're funny.
Hey, at this point, I can say and do. I get a lot of free license with him.
This is true.
I mean, so
this is true.
You got to be able to take a joke if you make a joke, right? That's it. So
exactly. But yeah, that was really that's when he told me. He didn't tell me before he went to college and we spent all the money. He says it his senior year.
Was
right
it
before he's getting
expensive?
out.
Hey,
Was it expensive?
You mentioned it was expensive.
You want me to tell you how expensive? No. Did I tell you it's expensive? Did I tell you the TCU? No.
We can Google the salary, or we can Google the tuition,
and then times 4.
Seriously, yeah. And then he was on the 5-year plan, and he wasn't done. He wasn't finished. So another year had to happen with him saying, "I'm going to be a comedian." But we'd already started it. So
look how sweet he was to stop after 4 years instead of 5. That's just...
You don't understand. When he graduated from high school, he had applied. He really wanted to go there because the basketball program was so good. This is all his dream was. I mean, in high school and everything, I want to be a college. I mean, grew up. That's what he wanted to be. Well, that's what he wanted to do. Right?
Can he play basketball?
He was a great basketball player until he got an injury his freshman year. And he was a late bloomer. You'll meet him. He's like 6'4". But in high school, his freshman year, he was like 5'8".
Oh, wow. Okay.
So very much a late bloomer. So I was very much a late bloomer too. And so,
right.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so, anyway, that's what he always wanted to be. So he was trying to get into TCU and didn't make it. So I began emailing the coaches. I was anybody I could find an email for, and I told this whole story about me being a single mom. And Jacob was really good about helping with his brothers and sisters. He really was. He's a great person.
Sure.
You wouldn't know it, but he really is. He's a really awesome. He really is. But except for this, and so we really worked hard to get him into this school, so that he could fulfill his dream.
Well, he's fulfilling his dream.
So here's how he can pay you back. When you're headlining, touring, he can open up for you at no charge.
He has said the biggest nightmare he would ever have is opening for his mother. His dad came up to me recently and he goes, it's kind of funny because Jacob said to me that his nightmare would be that his mom becomes more famous than him. And he goes, and look what happened. He goes on the show and you get all the followers. And I'm like, but he did it. I'm sitting over here innocent. I'm not even part of this.
Yep.
I didn't do it.
No,
But-
but
He brought it on himself.
thanks, son.
You know,
But
I think it shows subliminally he really just
yeah,
has to be connected to mom.
Yeah, I think he was thinking I could probably do my mom a salad here. It might hurt a little bit, but I can do her a salad here.
No, I think what he was thinking was, I've got to come up with something different in the interview. And he thinks it's hilarious that I did this. You know, it's not your normal mom story.
It's not.
So
It's not.
And it is kind of funny. I mean, yeah, my mom, you know, so he saw it as something that would get their attention, and
then it
did.
kind of. I don't,
It
and I
kinda
don't want to say
did.
like backfired, but it still made the jokes, but he was like, we'll make fun of it and he'll just be done with it. And then,
Yeah, I don't think he had any idea that
Right.
but I mean, he's dealing with some of the most talented people in comedy
yeah,
that exist in today's world. And I think he was going, oh my gosh, I've stepped in it, you know, because I loved it because I loved seeing him squirm, you know, it was fun.
Yeah, the
It was
interview
fun.
portion for those comedians is worse than the minute. I mean, more nerve-wracking than the minute because when they're doing the comedy, that's what they're used to doing. But that interview can be
Right.
tough.
and it's a couple of them going at you at one time. Yeah, no, it's good for
I
him
have
for
great
standing through it.
respect. Yeah, the respect I feel for them. I mean, I get up and I have the words for songs, and I'm singing something already pre-programmed, and you know, I know what I'm singing, I know the words, and so I just have to sing that out. It's not pre-programmed. What I'm saying is, it's like
And
I
you're
know
right.
what I'm saying, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Where with that, you just don't know. You have to bob and weave.
Yeah.
Kind of like you putting me on the spot on give us something to say. And I'm going,
Well, you got a week. You can still email me before we have them on. So
I'll send you a list.
there we go. But we in all jokes aside, we have to shout out your son Jacob because he did put this together. So we really appreciate him linking us up with you because we really wanted to talk to you, and we're really happy it happened. What's next? What's coming up next? The album's coming out soon, or the EP's out soon, and
the EP's out on the 3rd. You can pre-save it.
okay.
I'm about to put that out so people can pre-save it. I've got another single coming out called Whispering Like a Yell. And then the show on the 5th, October 5th. And I'm going to kick off a mini tour, if you will, to see how it goes, and get back into writing, and hopefully back in studio in January to start recording the next album.
Nice.
So where can everybody find you?
Where can they find me?
Yeah.
I find you. I mean, if they wanted, the nearest thing would be the October 5th show in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, all the social stuff. You know, where can
On
they
the socials. That's what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Delete.official on Instagram. The same on YouTube or on any of the streaming platforms. Please go listen to my music. That's what really it's all about.
That's
you
what
know?
it's about. Yeah.
And I appreciate you guys, and Kill Tony and Sam and Ari and Red Band and Joe Rogan. I mean, I can't say enough. And my sweet son, he really is sweet. Y'all quit giving him such a hard time. It's totally fine with Mama. Little Mama's okay. I can take it. I've had him my whole life, or his whole life. I know what I got.
Absolutely.
And
thank
go
you
follow
to you
her.
guys.
And go follow her on
you guys.
Facebook if you want to talk to her mom, because she's got a couple of the shares out there.
If you want somebody to talk your ear off, I'm not going to tell you her name, but you'll be able to tell which one if you go to my Facebook, and all of a sudden she'll start getting a bunch of follows. But
Oh, bless her.
she's adorable. She's like 4'10" and a redhead.
Oh,
I
She's
love it.
adorable.
I'm gonna comment on Facebook just so I can talk to her.
You're making a note.
I'm making a
no,
note.
what did I do? We've now perpetuated this thing.
I just want to find her
Becoming-
post and make a comment to her, and you know,
Becoming
She's about to
generational.
have a birthday. So
when's
wish her
that?
happy birthday. It's November 27th.
Okay.
So coming up soon. I mean, she'll be 79. So for her, this is about to happen.
Nice.
Okay.
Her
well,
birthday.
I'll make a note and wish her a happy birthday.
Well,
That's
thank
very
you.
kind of you.
Thank you very much. We really, really appreciate it. I'm so happy we could make this happen.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun. And if you want to come back when that next album's coming out, you want to promote again, let us know. We'd love to have you back.
Hey, count on it. You guys
Awesome.
are a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Only if you wear the Dolly shirt. Actually, you got to wear a Dolly shirt.
When's the merch?
It's so close. Dolly. I mean,
That's true.
If there's a shirt to buy, I'll buy one. You let me know where to
I'm
get
not
it.
comparing myself to Dolly at all. I should be so lucky. I'm just saying the name is kind of close.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Well-
but we got, so get the merch out there.
We are t-shirt hoarders, so
I got to get that going too. There's a lot, guys. I need help with a lot of things. So
it's good. That's good to need some help though. That means things are going well.
that's true. I'm
Yeah.
very blessed. I'm very grateful. You have no idea.
I would imagine.
All right. Well, we can't thank you enough. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah, you as well.
Thank you for listening. The tavern is closed for now, but we'd love to have you back for more fun next time. Seriously though, get your asses out of here.